Everyone can think back to a time when their parents have came to their rescue, when they've helped them in and out of trouble. But should your parents let you fail? Should your parents let you get in trouble? Chip Ingram, an author of Focus on the Family, which is a Christian website, shares a time when he and his wife had to make that decision. Should they let their child fail? He said, "My son had ambitious plans. He would drop out of college and focus on his music. All of his life, I had urged him to discover what he was created to do and to pursue what God had laid on his heart. I just didn't think it would be this, at least not if it meant for skipping college. But music was his passion and college wasn't. He had made up his mind. At first, I didn't know how to respond. I believe that kids should be allowed to experience the consequences of their decisions. But the stakes get higher as they get older. The School of Hard Knocks is an increasingly difficult curriculum, but the lessons are thorough. I told my son that if he wanted this bad enough to try to make it on his own, without expecting our financial support, he had my blessing. After about 6 months, he realized how hard it was to earn a living with a band, and he had come up with another decision. He would continue to pursue his dream, but he would develop a backup plan, which was re-enrolling in college. He held on to his vision, but balanced it with realism. I probably could have forced that decision on my son, but it wouldn't have changed his heart. He would have continued to restlessly look for the day that he could get out from under his dad's plan for his life. Instead, he got a life-altering perspective on the realities of working for a goal. The decision to finish school was his, and at this time, he was motivated to do well in college. So growing up, my sisters and I had experiences where my parents would let us fail, and there were times where they would come in and help us. So there certainly are times that it's okay for parents to let their kids fail, but parents need to know when it's okay and when it's not okay. So Kelly Johnson, an educational speech pathologist, said, "You want to give your child the space to make mistakes and solve problems, but you may need to make judgments of what he's ready to handle. As a parent and as an advocate, you want to make sure that he has the tools and support that he needs to succeed on his own." When is it okay for parents to let their kids fail? So parents should always consider the situation and its occurrence. They should consider how important the situation is. If the kid's been working on a project that's really, they put all their time and effort into this project and they forgot it at home and they called you and said, "Hey, I need my project brought to me at school." It's definitely okay to bring it them because you've seen how hard they put their time and effort in. Is it necessary that you should help the kid out? So you're in a really important business meeting, the kid calls you and they forgot their tennis shoes for sports practice and they need them now. It's not really necessary that the kid needs the tennis shoes for sports practice. They should be fine. They can sit out and learn their lesson, and that way you can still continue to be in your business meeting. Does the child understand the consequences of the situation? So say a child speeds all the time and you tell the child, don't speed, and then they get a speeding ticket. The child needs to understand the consequences of, you've told them not to speed, that they would get a speeding ticket. They ended up getting the speeding ticket. They need to deal with their situation that they're in. So failure is hidden from children at an early age. Sports is one of these. When kids are little, they don't count the scores for the games, and this causes the kids to win every time and get participation trophies. Parents help their kids with their homework, and the kids sit back and realize that if they don't get the answer, the parents will end up finally giving the answer to the child. This causes them to make good grades. Parents letting their kids win the games that they play as a family. These are just simple ways that failures are hidden from children. So what are the effects of these? Our children are always going to expect the trophy. They're always going to expect to win, and they're always going to expect to get a good grade every time. When they don't receive these, it causes the child to have hurt feelings, which again could cause issues. So Brian Kim is a teacher, and he says the whole negative emotional energy and stigma around failure the society constantly reinforces needs to go. How do you get rid of these hurt feelings? Honestly, the first way to say is just teach kids to fail. Donna Villopita, also a speech pathologist, said there is a learning opportunity that could be a good idea to let kids learn how to fail. But there are times where they may need the extra support, and if there is a lesson, failure isn't always a good idea. It's okay to bail your child out sometimes, as long as you give them scaffolds to help them learn how to navigate on their own. But it's important to be mindful and understand why you're supporting them. So what do kids learn from failure? They're going to learn responsibility, that you can't always win. Life is full of mistakes, and they're going to learn to learn from their own mistakes, what they need to do next time to keep them from failing again. So, should you always let your child fail? No. If a child does not understand why they are failing, or if they are failing, you should help them. So if the child doesn't understand why they're failing, like if they're failing a class and they don't understand why, they don't understand the material, it's okay to step in and help them with their projects, but you shouldn't always or their homework or projects, you shouldn't always give them the answers. You can help them understand the answers, just don't always provide the answers every single time. Or, if you see them failing and they continue to fail, you can, give them advice on how not to fail next time. Those are times that you can step in. So, to close this out, I'm going to end up with a quote from Mark Griffin, the founder of Eagle Hill High School in Connecticut, which is a school for kids with ADHD and different disorders like that. He says, a good rule of thumb to let kids fail when they have a good shot of learning from it and getting better from problem solving next time. This applies to whatever they're doing: reading, playing a sport, or participating in a club activity. If a child has no chance of success because of the lack of skills or strategies, constant failure only makes things worse.